Welcome, Brittany Berger.
Okay, don't make me cry.
Yeah, I know. I could immediately cry just because I think it's just, there's just so much love. And also like, I feel like I've gotten so lucky. For so long, I had trouble with like my friend group, and navigating like your friend group as you get older and like losing friends that you think are your sisters. And then being around friends that are so like-minded and think of growth and just being the like we want to be like, there's no limit to us. And that's how we talk to each other all the time.
So true.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe to That's So Akiba podcast. We are on all platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can watch it, you can listen to it. And I'm so happy to have you guys here. Follow me on @SoAkiba on socials. That's how I'm going to introduce Brittany Berger. Brittany Berger is someone that needs no introduction, but she is not only one of my best friends, but an author of a book called 25 and Selfish, which literally changed my life, and I'll go into that later, and also the founder of Mindful Music Lab. And to me, what that means, like when my clients go to you, they just bring so much more intention in their practice of making music before going in the studio. And I think that's what Mindful Music Lab is.
That's crazy that when you say that to me, it's cool if I get emotional. I love that life for us. Yeah. You've been such an integral part of my journey for growth, and every leap that I've taken, I feel like you've really been my net, through everything, through both business endeavors. And
we shot the cover here.
I know.
Of 25 and Selfish.
I know. And to think
literally
about,
shot the cover of that book here.
Yeah. And to think about how many times that I tell you that you're the key in so many areas of people's lives, and that the people that are in my life because of you, plain and simple, period. There doesn't need to be an explanation why. It's just how you are and who you are. The closest people that I feel connected to, and I've also just created beautiful magic with over time, is literally because of you. Wow. And you always believing in me. And I think that we always need someone to believe in us in every area of our life. And it's so beautiful to have friendships, because when we think of family and like everybody in our family is getting older, and witnessing that and knowing what's important, and even like valuing Shabbat. I've lit my Shabbat candles that you bought me when I moved into my apartment many years ago, every Friday night this year. For me, which probably seems crazy, that's how it should be, but you're just such a light of that and an inspiration of that too.
It's funny. I feel like this podcast, everyone's going to think it's like a religious Jewish podcast, because everyone's like, Baruch Hashem. It's because I say it so often, But like, I think I do those little things to remind you that there's light. There's just a little bit of light, and when you light those Shabbat candles, you always text me. You're like, I lit my Shabbat candles.
I know.
But it's just that little switch in your life, the way you turn my switches on, that's how I can turn yours on. You know what I mean? Also, we were talking about, let's talk about a little wardrobe situation right now, because shout out to your grandmother.
Shout out to Edie.
For real.
I love her.
Yes. So you're wearing old school Tahari, right?
Neiman Marcus Tahari.
Like, this is just such an epic moment right now. And I just wanted to shout her out, because I know you always talk about her clothes and her closet.
I do.
And I know she's dealing with a lot right now, right? She has
dementia and early Alzheimer's.
Right.
And it's really, I think the beautiful thing about it, I went to see her last Tuesday, which needs to be more, it's not enough. And navigating life in general with how much time we have, with spending time with our friends and family, and what's a priority, especially with building a business, and being grateful that like you out of anyone recognizes and realizes and has known the waves of experience and overwhelmingness and happy moments and moments that have been difficult, that you have to do what you have to do and prioritize what you can to get to where you want to go, which is how we really live our life, and still having to honor what that looks like, even if we don't know, honor the connections and relationships that are in our life now, what we create time, energy, and space for, especially our own energy and how it shows up. And for her, she knows my grandpa, and sometimes I think she knows my mom, but anytime that you say Brittany, or I'm like, hi, it's Brittany, and she just starts crying, and it's like the awareness of her comes up. And I don't know if I have been telling you this, but she comes in my dreams a lot. So sometimes I get nervous when I wake up because she's definitely not all there. And sometimes she can't really move her body. But I'm grateful that I can breathe new life into her clothes and her spirit, where it like still smells like her. And I'm like, I don't want to dry clean it. Yeah. And she comes in my dreams now because we know that I'm an intuitive channeler and have like psychic abilities that I'm quiet about, but that have been stronger with premonitions and everything over time, and learning how to balance that with like the reality of the 3D we're living in, and as an entrepreneur and just a woman and a person and a friend and, you know, an artist, a healer, all those things.
That's literally what I want to talk about, is that you do so much, we do so much, and everyone's always like, how do you do all of these things? It's because A, we want to and we love it.
Yeah.
But how do we also make sure that we don't fall short on ourselves? And I think both of us have fallen short on ourselves and the people that are important in our lives, like grandparents. You know, like I don't have grandparents. So when I hear you say this, I'm like, God, take the time for them.
And when I saw them in the doctor's office?
I was literally at the doctor's office, guys. This is the craziest story. I'm in the doctor's office, literally like terrified that like she's going to announce that I have something terrible. Thank God they didn't. And I felt like the reminder was seeing her grandparents. I've never met your grandparents before.
Wow.
I think outside their car one time, but like I don't recall.
Yeah.
I hear this man in the background and I'm like, this voice just sounds so familiar. Like, how do I know this voice? It sounded like your mother.
Yeah. And she was on the phone.
She was on the phone.
And you heard
I'm
her.
like, and I'm overhearing and I'm like, this for sure. Like, I'm telling you right now, that's Brittany's mom on the phone. And I look at them and I'm like, this has to be her grandparents. I call you, I go, are these your, I'm FaceTiming you like a weird person. I'm like, are these your grandparents? You're like, yes, like go up to them, make sure that.
Oh my God, started crying.
And I go up to him and I'm like, I love your granddaughter. Like she's my best friend.
Yeah.
And he started crying. He's just so cute and so in love with you. And like, I think that little moment right there, it's just like how life is supposed to be, you know, like
67 years.
It's crazy.
They just celebrated 2 days ago. 67 years.
And that's why, so going back to like the moments we should appreciate and not fall short on for ourselves. How do you navigate through that?
I feel like recently I've been making that a priority because I realize that creating and holding space for yourself, we can create it, but we may not take the time to hold it. I can sit down and try to meditate or relax or try to realign my energy, but if I'm not focused in it, my mind is elsewhere, what good is that gonna do?
Totally.
And
I struggle with that every single day.
Yeah.
I'm rushing every day.
Every day. And I realized this year, and I think specifically the past month and a half, I've been truly applying living in my human design. And I'm a self-projected projector 5-1, which is like leadership, guidance, the visionary, the advisor, the seer, not the doer. And I'm a doer. And I've been living my whole life just like you as a builder. And those are more like generators and manifesting generators. And I'm like, what would make me successful as a projector? Everything it says is rest.
Wow.
And I'm supposed to be resting more than I'm working. Wow. So my energy output is supposed to be less than my input. And so now in the mornings, we know I love working out. Like we love moving our bodies. It's a huge part of our life. And I've barely been to the gym.
Me too.
Only like 2 to 3 days a week. And it's because I realize the mornings for me, sleep is vital. That's my medicine.
Absolutely.
I will not
with
negotiate my sleep because then I can't give to anyone. And so now what I love the most, which is something you do really well, is having a slow morning. And I choose to take my time and I choose to like make my water with colostrum, hot water with lemon, celery juice, my coffee
all
or
of
matcha, and be in like a really big t-shirt and say, let me step outside and meditate there for a moment, whether it's 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning, because that's when I get up.
How to have these slow mornings? And I would get so angry with him for it. And now I like thank him for Adam.
Wow.
My fiance now has taught me to just enjoy.
Wow.
You know, like we could work our whole lives and bust our asses and really just like be stressed all the time, which I'm really, really good at.
Yeah.
But taking time in the morning, like I don't even work out in the mornings anymore.
Me either.
I keep trying to like fuel myself to go, but I'm like, I'm better when I write. I'm better when I think a little. I'm better when I have my matcha. I'm better when I have a little water in the morning. I'm better when I slow down. I'm better when I get dressed for myself.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm better. Like, I'm better when I put a little makeup on. And this is so new now. Like, that really just accepting it. I'm like, you know what? That's it. Like, these are my mornings now. Just accept it.
For sure.
You don't work out in the morning anymore. Go get abs for lunch.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get to create my schedule. So that's how you implement it. And like prayer.
And prayer. You know what's also really important? Something that I know that you'll love and I feel like we're actively doing. What I'm focused on right now is making sure the natural pace and flow of my thoughts and the channel of my manifestations coming in and out and kind of everything that we have planted seeds for and allowing them to grow and blossom and be patient, but to be open to receiving them for your highest good, but truly meeting the expectation, if not even better, for what I want to bring into my life. And how is that possible? I know that slowing down for me helps regulate my nervous system and my thoughts. And meditation serves that purpose. But sometimes just sitting there is not helpful for me. And if I want to take a walk, or if I want to journal, or if I want to try something new and fully be in my rest, what comes in energetically, I feel like what I do more and more now is write down my wins before they happen or what I'm looking forward to. Wow. Which I know
Love that.
Yeah, the 5-minute journal helps with that.
Yeah, I actually just started it. I've been consistent for 10 days now. And it like
and
tells
you
me like, good job, 10 days. And I'm like, wow, that feels good for me. Because I've always just journaled and wrote down 6 things I'm grateful for every morning. I was known for that.
For sure,
you know?
for sure.
But now I needed a shift.
Yeah, you're allowed
and the shift feels good. Like not doing the same shit for forever. Like I needed that. Like this is different for me, you know?
For sure.
I used to be so type A, like I have to do that, then I have to drink my coffee, then I have to work out, then I have to do that. And now I'm just like,
there's no rules.
You know what? I'm gonna have my meeting later. You know, it's
choosing
all
peace.
Good. Yes.
Choosing peace. And I think that's my biggest thing that I say every day is that I'm choosing peace in what I'm doing. I'm choosing peace in the alignment of choices. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Does this opportunity serve me? Doesn't mean the opportunity's not great.
I want to stop you there. Opportunity serving you. Very big for me this year. And I think you've taught me a lot about this. How do you differentiate a good opportunity from an opportunity that does not serve you?
Does it align with your self-worth of what exactly you really want?
What does that mean?
That means, is an opportunity coming that first in your nervous system? Does it feel like it flow and it's like aligned and it feels really good for you that you don't even think twice about saying yes? Does it also align with your rate? And are people going—
the discounts, man.
Yeah. And are people going to actually appreciate your value and your rate? Because people don't realize the amount of hours, days, time that we put into everything that we do. And here's the thing about us. I don't like to use the word hard because I don't like to say I'm a hard worker. We are ambitious and we are full energy that we put towards everything that we do because we're going to make sure that we're the best at it. Yes. And that we want to be the experts in our field, even if that looks differently. And to some people, that's experience and that's years. And we have that. And in some ways, we create the entire path ourselves and we allow that to flow exactly as it's supposed to. And I keep saying flow because the way that we write goals sometimes are like border blocks and boundary barriers.
So true.
And so I prefer to write it as a win. Be like, you know what? I had this idea today. That's a win.
Love that.
I've always wanted to do this and now it's here. Wow. Even like when I released my album last year, which I wasn't even planning on making one. So everything in life is beautiful and funny. And I'm like, I'm going to be on the Equinox app. I've been with that company now 10 years. Crazy. And I'm like, why not? But I have to show them that I can before telling them.
Tell me about
I'm like,
how
here's the
Equinox really quick. Just give them a quick
okay. I've been teaching at Equinox as a group fitness instructor for 10 years, all different signature programs. And I was their youngest hire in Florida. And they also have their own app for members. And I always wanted to do meditation for them. And I had to believe that first, because I do lead guided meditations, I never thought about being on an app for some reason until I came out with my album. And then I was like, look what I did. And I did the album in an amount of time, not where I was like, let me take a year to do this. It was so quick for me because I'm like, this is the genre I want. I created the beats with my producer. I knew kind of the idea of where I wanted to go, but I didn't write anything down. I closed my eyes without the music and I knew the beat in my mind and I just channeled everything.
I think that this is where you and I again just relate so much, is that we're doers. Like, we don't wait for anyone else. If we want to get something done,
Yeah, you do
we get it done. Like, and I think that's why we're so successful in our fields. Like, we don't wait on anyone. We just, like, if we need to get something, we text all of the people. Like, there's no fear in anything that we do when it comes to work, which is funny because I feel like in our personal lives, we're not like that. You know, like, we go in our homes and we're like, okay, hood up, like, don't talk to me.
Introverted.
You know, like, but when we're out in the world, it's like we can take on anything and anyone, and nothing is gonna stop us. And I think that, you know, for other people out there, there's such a message in that. Like, everyone's like, oh, but how do you do that? Can do it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. And
we had to figure everything out.
Absolutely.
No one really gave us a game plan.
No.
Like,
Nothing.
I like to say that, oh, maybe this person's my mentor or my mentor, but in reality, like, what did they really offer?
I love that.
And, like,
I love that you're saying that.
Yeah, and how many people say they're gonna be there and then aren't. And you're like, oh, I needed
How
to
do you deal with
know
that?
that. You know, it's really beautiful. Acceptance. Two things. I've learned to accept people exactly as they are and who they are. And I've had to learn the hard way, because I will ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you trust yourself?
Absolutely.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Some people do not.
Wow.
And so we trust so many people because we trust ourselves so much, we expect the same in return. We love so hard. We give enormously, infinitely, without thinking twice, because that's how we are naturally. And so we expect the same. But then when we don't receive the same, we feel like something's wrong with us. And people are like
it's us.
don't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Don't only see the good in people. Remember those 3 things Jared told me?
Yes.
And not everyone is amazing.
Not
And I'm
everyone
thinking
is
everyone's
amazing.
amazing because I see the best in them and I see their potential and I believe in everyone.
Also because we're givers.
And we're givers. But
we're such givers.
yeah, do we receive? I think you receive more now.
Do
but
I?
it's an active choice and it shouldn't be. Some
But
people
should we just, like you said, acceptance, right? Like, I feel like now I need to accept that I am who I am. I'll always be giving. It's just in my nature.
Yeah,
That I shouldn't expect anything from anyone else. You know what I mean?
for sure.
I've been listening to Mel Robbins' book, the Let Them Theory.
Andy just texted that to me. She's like, you must read this book.
Let them.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
let them be how they are.
Yeah.
Let yourself be who you are. And that was so big for me. It's like, you know what? I'm always molding myself for others. They're not molding themselves for me.
No.
Why am I doing that? Because we let ourselves fall short. And that I think mutually, like, we both deal with that so heavily. So I just feel like now is our time.
I believe it.
It's really our time. We always have said it, but I really do feel it now that it is our time, which is why this podcast is happening. How many times have we said we have to do this?
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you.
And I'm like, you know what? Let's just
know.
freaking
I
do
know.
it already, you know? I just feel like we've done a lot. We've done a lot, you and I. We've done a lot.
And isn't it crazy? I feel like I'm still just beginning. Do you feel that way sometimes?
Absolutely. You know what? For a couple months, I was like, I'm so stagnant. I don't know where I'm going anymore.
I remember.
You create that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You create where you want to go, what you want your life to look like. And, you know, I want to go back to this, to 25 and Selfish. You got to read this book. When I was 20, I was 24 when I read it.
Oh my gosh.
I was turning 25. I had already been in my career. I was styling already. I was successful. Like, I was doing the things, you know?
sure.
But I fell short on myself. I fell short on myself in the sense that I was just going. I wasn't enjoying. And you said something that made me go on a trip every single summer by myself for a month because of your book. Because you were just working so hard. You were working so hard for a company that you shouldn't be working in.
Yeah.
Like, and for me, I was just like, I'm working on what I love, but I'm not enjoying my life. Like, life is just passing by. And because of you, every single summer, until now, because I'm with a man that I love and I don't want to be without him, but every single summer, I took a trip by myself for a month.
Yeah.
And that was because of you.
Wow.
And it just opened my eyes. And it brings your creative energy back too, to see what else is going on in the world. Like, we live in a
true.
little nook. Like, there's a big ass world out there, you know? But that book, man, talks about love, talks about.
I can't wait to write the second one. Like I think about it all the time.
We're waiting on it.
I think about it every day. And it's funny because, you know, when you talk about living, the mindset shift is really what I nurture. Oh my God, you can see the moon through that window. Sorry. Oh my God, I love her. I'm such a moon child. Oh my God. That's the universe for me being like, I love you too. Yeah. When it comes to, also you were in your Jupiter return when you were 25. And so that's when Jupiter has a cycle. And when you're 24 to 26 years old, and it continues, I believe every 11 to 12 years, you go through a new one. It's a planet of luck and abundance. So it's always going to guide you to where your joy is as long as you find it and follow it.
Where are we right now?
We finished our Saturn return. Okay. So I don't think we're in anything right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm in my Jesus year, they say. And so I don't know what happens at that time, but I will let you find out. And so I feel like when it comes to the mindset shift of how can I live every day in a pace where my nervous system is calm and feel supported? Like I say to myself often, I invite supportive energy and abundance and love and prosperity and kindness and creativity and inspiration and protection and honesty and rested success in my life every day. Like I love saying that.
Do you repeat that to yourself every day?
Every day. And sometimes those words will change, but I always invite supportive energy into my heart.
Would you say that that is your best health mechanism?
Yeah, I like talking to myself.
Talking to yourself.
And what I realized was I feel that growing up, when I do a lot of shadow work, that I was always my biggest emotional, honest support, which makes sense as a self-projected projector. I learned through experience of myself before sharing it, teaching it, and realization. And so if I can every day stay in this calm, natural pace and allow it to be natural by having these slow mornings and allowing work to be enjoyable, because what I created is my dream come true. Like when I wake up and I have these slow mornings, I'm like, thank you, Hashem. Like I'm thankful for my apartment. I'm thankful for my body, for my skin, for the roof over my head, for just a good night's rest, health, my friends, family, all these things that we speak gratitude into our daily life for. I realize like, are you still and are you working towards or are the version of yourself that you want to be? Like I know when I think about where I am now, I'm meant to be in this specific time and place and divine timing. Like you said, the time is now. But I don't want to be anyone but me. Like when I have to remind myself when like sometimes doubts and fears and the thoughts of giving up and I'm like, oh my God, I have this studio. Like why am I not personally creating music every day when I know I'm freaking good at it? Yes. And I had to step into that power a couple of months ago and be like, you are actually great at this. And it was always within you. And someone had a conversation with me about dance where like I was a competitive dancer until I went to college and then I got into fitness because dance was done. You know, I had nowhere to dance and I just danced again a couple weeks ago and it was like incredible for the body and I cried because I was like, you did this, you know? Yeah. But dance was always within me. And my friend told me that music was always within me. I just didn't have the outlet to create it and know that.
Well, you had the moves.
I had the moves.
I remember. Let me tell you. Okay, so hold on. Let's go back.
When the
really
beat
quick,
drops,
okay?
I know when it's supposed to drop.
Let's go back. How long? I've known Brittany Berger. I've known Brittany since elementary school.
Yeah, since we were 6.
She used to be like the hottest thing, like best dancer on the dance team. Like when I went to the same hip hop school as her. I'll tell you a little bit about it. I went to the same Peaches dance school, okay? Yep. And when I went to hip hop class, Zedric told me, you need to get off this freaking dance floor. You just don't know how to move, my girl. And I just had to be like, all right, you're right. But I wanted to look like you. I remember Brittany Berger would walk in that place. Like, I'm telling you, like the way she would just strut on the dance floor, like, I don't even know. I feel like I could do it better now than I was when I was younger. But
I feel the same.
Honestly, like the way you would just strut on there with such confidence, I want to leave people with that.
Yeah.
How do you practice confidence in yourself? I know we talked about trust.
No, I love that question.
But how are you confident in yourself?
You know what's crazy? I didn't know I was confident then. I honestly feel like
you looked it.
Isn't that interesting? Because I love hip hop and urban funk more than anything in this world. And it's like, it feels like it's something in my body that I've been doing for lifetimes. And it brings me back to like ancestral wisdom because none of that makes sense, you know? And so stepping into our power, I just had to realize like, when I think about the version of myself that I want to be to receive everything that I'm planning and that I'm actively doing, when I watched your incredible episode of Fake It Till You Make It and Own It.
Yes.
I thought to myself, like, fake it till you make it. But this is what I was saying to you a little bit last night, where everything we've wanted to do, we've tried and we've done it, period.
Absolutely.
Like no matter
Failure
what that
or
looks
not.
like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you did it. And that takes bravery and courage. And to be confident, it's like, I want to make sure that I'm so overwhelmingly, infinitely overabundant with self-love. You cannot tell me something that isn't me. I would know that it's not true. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I ran into a guy friend recently I haven't seen in so many years. And we're sitting at a table and he gets up and I haven't seen him in a long time. And he's just like, whoa, you're way too positive. Like you're way too much. Like you need to tone it down. And it was in front of a bunch of my friends. And I look at him and I go, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. Because the other side of it is he's also single, right? And he's going on dates with women. Yeah. I said, if you're talking to me that way, do you realize that you're actively putting me down and trying to belittle me and make me small and dim my light?
You told him this?
Yeah, in front of a whole table of people. I go, I love myself so much. That's not true. Wow. That's like saying to me that my name is Elizabeth and it's not.
Wow.
When it comes to my energy, you cannot tell me anything. It is who I am, you know? Wow. And that's who I want to be. And I know that like, I also think a lot about like love and a future partner. We talk about this all the time. And I'm so grateful to have this time to be with myself because I want to be the best, most amazing version of me when I meet that man, because I know I haven't met him yet.
There's one thing that I heard, I think it was 50 Cent that said it. He's like, be the person that you want to date.
Yeah.
And it's true. Be the person that you would want to date, you know?
I want to have a calm nervous system at all times. I feel like that's why I always say choosing peace is my goal. And knowing that I'm supported as equally as I show up for someone else, just as a friend, you know, and how much space that we're able to hold for a person, which also reflects how much space we're able to hold for ourselves. And so when it comes to boundaries and learning to not be people pleaser anymore, but that some people are going to be left disappointed. And what do we have to say? Let them be.
Let them be. So good.
Because
Mel Robbins, shout out to you.
Shout out.
Yes.
Because I used to care so much. You and I are the same way. We would care so much, and we still care on another level, but
so much to the point that we would give
everything.
We would give everything just
even when we're drained and depleted.
Support others, but then what about us?
Yeah, and knowing that I am still in a building phase. And I may be in a building phase entrepreneurially wise for a really long time or a short time, I don't know. And people who are in that space know and respect that takes time. But other people who don't understand, like you and I will be and have never been the type of person that's going to work for a full-time job from 9 to 5 or for one person. And the thing is, that is totally beautiful and okay because some people are meant to do that.
Absolutely.
We have all these ideas that we're meant to act on because we see the final destination of the way to push through and create it into a reality.
And because I feel like God puts that on us because he knows we can create it.
For sure. Or else like we wouldn't have that idea.
Correct. We were meant to put it out.
Yeah. And even when I think about when people are like, writing a book is so hard, I'm like, actually it was easy for me. I was just doing so many things at once that I have enough time.
You were meant to do it.
Exactly. Making an album, like super easy for me. And it was beautiful. And it's a project that helps me in my mental health. Like I revert back to myself.
Do you feel like when you're called to do something, it's really, truly like you'll feel it?
Yeah, pick up the phone.
If you're speaking to a viewer right now and they feel called to become or do something, but they're like, oh, I'm stuck in this 9 to 5, which you know all about.
Yeah.
You know, if you read her book, that's what it's about, you know, being stuck in a job that she's not meant to be in. How can that person act on it?
You have to make the time for it. Like when I became a Reiki master and I was doing the Reiki healings and I was teaching fitness, I still had a full-time job. Yeah. You know, I was in the recording studios. I'm like learning about studio sessions, even though I only saw myself as a healer. Even when I wrote my book, so many different things. I was always had multiple streams of income.
So the rest is excuses. You always make an excuse.
It's fear for people, which is an excuse.
Yeah,
and you know what?
Absolutely.
Guess what? It's okay to be scared.
Totally.
I was always scared.
I'm still scared sometimes. I'm opening a new space. I'm like, damn, I got to spend 10 G's and then I got to do this. But you know what? You just got to do it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I would rather do that than not at all because I can always go back to some other but I'm here now and I want to see this through and I want to see where it goes. And I know this is a part of the journey because we're always going to be good. Like we were always meant to create and we were always really beautiful people who are connected to what they love and their passion, and your purpose can look different. We're multi-hyphenate entrepreneurs to the core. We're multi-purposeful. We can do many different things because we are supposed to. Yes. And again, it's okay if other people aren't that, or they haven't stepped into it yet. And it's allowing yourself to befriend the fear. I remember I used to say, like, I'd hide her in my backpack and then hopefully she'd disappear, but go with them, like go with that emotion, because it's pushing you towards where you need to go. And if you are able to start over, you can, and everything is an investment. I also like to say every morning now, I invest so much into myself and who I am and my path and my vision and my purpose that the universe's favorite investment is investing in me.
Wow. Can you send me that on a voice note like you do the other one? So Brittany loves sending me voice notes of like these
They're mini
mantras.
podcasts.
Yeah, mini podcasts of like just how like I'm the best person in the world and you are just my best pick me up. Honestly, like there is nothing like you in that way. Okay, I want to know. Rapid fire question.
Okay.
This is how we end every episode.
You're so beautiful.
I love you. You're so beautiful. Biggest struggle turned superpower. Or maybe you're still going through the motions.
It's funny because I don't like to use the word hard or struggle or worry. I like to instead of saying worrying about something, that I'm thinking about it. Or instead of struggling, I say I'm growing through it or I'm learning. Yeah. Because I want to change the vibration and the words that I say, knowing an energy carries all of that. Good. But I think I know what it is. And I don't know if I don't want to call it a struggle, but I would say what's noted in my awareness is truly trusting my intuition, because I'm always right. Like I'm telling you, I'm always right. I always know.
Yes.
And like you have to also listen to a little bit of what other people tell you as just more information, but you know where it feels in your body.
Yes.
And I feel like when we think of our superpowers, and yes, there can be many, it's listening to what truly feels the loudest in your intuition and your nervous system. And I remember just really quick, when I opened Mindful Music Lab, before that, I wanted it to be a healing space. And I wanted it to be for musical artists. And I remember you saying to me, let it become whatever it's supposed to, because it might look so differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when I think about all of the amazing people in my life today and what I've learned in the process and how many people have healed and have not taken their life, or
that
who
is so big.
Yeah.
What you just said.
Yeah. Huh. And who come in and are like, I feel anxious or depressed, or I'm going through addiction issues or domestic violence disputes, and I have no one to turn to and no one believes in me, and I don't believe in myself
because
and
of
they're
you.
Still here.
So like that is just so big. And I want to leave with this. I want to say, like, people call themselves healers and all of the things, but I think it is just in your nature to just be here. If it's not for anything else, it's to save people's lives.
By being you and knowing that's accepted. And thank you. Because when you say confidence, I'm like, I only want to be me. I don't want to be anybody else. And I want to make sure that I love myself every second of the day, even on the days that I don't. And you give yourself honor and grace. Absolutely. And so we have to remember that everything is truly within us. But look at the circle of friends that you surround yourself with. Look at the type of people who are coming into your life. Look at the relationships that you also allow. And ask yourself, does this serve my highest good? Does this really serve the best version of myself? And if it doesn't, let that go. And doesn't mean that that's easy. I'm very good at detachment, so I can cut off quick. But then there's other times where I'm like, this is questioning things. Yeah. Should I, form this relationship differently, or this opportunity differently, or this business differently? And reminding ourselves, like, what's funny is that I realized when I got into the music space that I wanted to be a songwriter. Well, my friends discovered me first by reading my second book. That no one will probably see the light of day. It was pretty good though.
Love
it was
that
almost
one.
done. I'll send it to you. But I realized that I guess like over a year in my business, which it'll be 2 years next month, which is beautiful, which I didn't even celebrate the first year.
No, you didn't.
I
never
celebrate
for yourself.
I know.
Falling short for yourself.
This year. And realizing like when you bring it back to joy, am I really living the life that I want? Yes. But am I enjoying it? And I wasn't, because I was entrepreneur first, healer, artist, writer, producer, programmer, facilitator, fitness, last.
Wow.
And so I'm like, can I restructure it? Is that possible? How can you be all things? I will not pick one lane like people have told me. I say that I'm a highway just like you are.
Same.
And I feel like back to trusting your gut and your intuition, you know, and to really step into your power. And it's not about what you look like. If everybody was able to strip that away and we all did not have eyes and we felt energy and we heard the vibration of your voice and how you make someone feel when you hold their hand or give them a long hug, that's the most important part of anything that we carry.
That's what people remember. People will always remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you'll be remembered as.
And being honest when you're not 100%. And I'm
So
always
good.
honest when I'm not 100%. So people know it's not on them. And then you're allowing yourself space to receive love.
Love that. That's another huge way to just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Superpower.
You are. I love you. You are
so proud of you.
Such a beautiful person, and I can't thank you enough for being here. Like, you have grown and flourished into the most amazing you were already amazing from like young baby age, and now you are just this like, you trust yourself. You know who you are, and if I could wish that upon anyone, it's that. I love you.
I love you more.
Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
We did it. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to That's So Akiba podcast. We are on all platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can watch it, you can listen to it. And I'm so happy to have you guys here. Follow me on @SoAkiba on socials.